Do you need time, or can we just
I don't
go
think-
right into
No, you're
116?
good.
Kansas.
You're good.
Blatantly, this is going to be Kansas.
Howard stands no chance.
I mean, yeah, they had an injury, and Bill Self hasn't been there with the team, which is kind of a little, but they proved that they can play without that. The injury is more concerning to me, but it's not going to matter in this game, Kansas.
I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on this game. We got Kansas.
Kansas all the way on that one. What's the next game?
Arkansas, Illinois.
This is a good game.
It's a good game.
Like we said, these 8, 9, 7, 10 games are all amazing, in my opinion. Arkansas is freaking they're crazy. I've watched them play a couple times.
They're really, really talented.
They're a very talented and young team.
Yeah.
Very talented and young team. And I don't think, like we said, the consistent narrative is that the Big Ten can't perform in the big dance. So I'm going Arkansas. Arkansas has given some teams some fits this year in the SEC. So
I'm going Arkansas as well. They are young and inexperienced, but they had one of the best recruiting classes in the country for a reason. Yes. And they are led by Nick Smith Jr., who is a stud freshman. You got Anthony Black, 6'7" guard. You got Ricky Council, junior 6'6" guard. You got Mark Mitchell, another freshman in the middle. I think overall they're just more talented than this Illinois team. Yes, Illinois has guys like Terrence Shannon, who's had a good year, and others, but I think Arkansas is just a better team.
Yeah, I've got Arkansas in this game too. They're just way, way, way more talented. I do think they've kind of underperformed
They
in terms of expectation.
They definitely.
But you can make the argument that North Carolina was kind of underperforming based on expectation before the tournament last year, and they made the national championship game. So the fact is that Arkansas is here, and they're just a way more talented team than Illinois is. So I'm going to take Arkansas in this game as well.
nice. Arkansas. Love that. St. Mary's VCU. This could be personal bias from the game I just watched this weekend against Dayton. This VCU team is hungry.
This VCU team is really, really good.
This VCU team is hungry. I love watching them play. I think they're a physical team. They can match up well across the board. I'm going VCU. There's my 12 seed.
I like VCU a lot.
I got, 2 12 seeds?
I already have. Let me just check. I already have 2 12-5 upsets. And I am going to be riding the Aiden, what's his name? Mahogany or something like that. I'm going to be riding the hype train of him, and I'm going to go St. Mary's. I think he's a stud as a freshman. Is this even right? Nope, that's the wrong school.
That's Mount St. Mary's.
I looked up St. Mary's.
It is Saint. Like, type out
SAINT.
There we go.
St. Louis, St. Mary's, St. Mary's. There you go.
All right. Yes, Aiden Mahoney, 14.5 points. Beast as a freshman. He's been really surprising. And then you got Logan Johnson, who's averaging 15 as well. I think St. Mary's is a good team. I mean, yes,
They're a good team.
Yes, they play in not the best conference, but they're ranked 40th in offense and 9th in defense. So because of that, I'm going to go with St. Mary's. But I do think VCU is very good, and I would not be shocked if they do it.
Yeah, I watched that UD VCU game. I don't think VCU excels at anything,
No.
really.
But
But they are scrappy. They will get after you for the entire game.
the big thing, too.
Yeah.
The big thing, too, is they have to be hitting their shots.
Yes, they have to be hitting their shots.
Because if they're not hitting their shots, they are not winning that game. And I mean, that goes for everybody.
Yeah, but
they're
more
not
so
a-
with
they're
VCU.
not- They're not that good of a shooting
VCU's
team.
very streaky.
Yes.
But they fight for everything. It seems like every single 50-50 ball in that game against UD was going to VCU. And I've been low on St. Mary's this whole year. I think they've been kind of overrated.
They just got their butts kicked against Gonzaga.
Yeah. I think they've been kind of overrated this entire
That was
season.
a rough one.
And so for those reasons, I'll get my second 12-5 upset. I'll go with VCU in this game.
We got the same. I think we have the same 12-5 upsets.
What, Charleston and VCU?
Charleston and VCU. Yep, those are my two as well. I just feel like those are the two best bets.
Charleston's really, really good.
Yeah,
They're really, really good. I know we're not even there anymore, but Charleston's really, really good.
I love Charleston.
All right, the next one. What do we got? UConn.
UConn and Iona.
Iona with the whole. I could see Iona. This could be a game I could see happening potentially as an upset. But I freaking love this UConn team. This UConn team is beautiful. Two guys averaging 16, Hawkins and Sanago, let me rephrase. I think they can guard 1 to 5. This is a team that fits the mold of being a top 40 offense and a top 22 defense. This team is the real deal. It would not surprise me if they make it to the Final Four. I'm going UConn.
I'm going UConn as well. Jordan Hawkins, man, absolute stud.
Yep.
Shooting the ball lights out at a 37% clip from 3. He's going to be a first-round pick. Connecticut, they're 6th in offense, 18th in defense. I think that's all you need to know. And they're playing Iona. They've made a good run. Patino has brought that program to life.
Yes.
But UConn's just too much of a...
It looks like Patino might be coming to the Big East next year.
Yeah, I
too.
follow that.
I have a feeling he's going to go to St. John's, which would be
John's.
good for him.
It
He's
would be
from
great.
New York.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah. I've got UConn as well. Like you said, you all covered it all. Top 40 offense, top 22 defense. They guard 1 through 5 exceptionally well. They are very, very, very well balanced. And yeah, I'll take UConn in this game.
Nice pick. UConn across the board on that one. Good job, boys. I think we just handed that one to Iona.
Yeah, congrats to the
Congrats,
Gales.
congrats
Iona.
TCU and Arizona State or Nevada.
Oh my goodness, Arizona State. I'm so scared. TCU, pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Miles Jr.
Stud.
was a freak. This dude, and he's going to be a freak. Next level guy. I love what he has done. I watched him play Kansas State the other night. Knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
You get him in space. He can finish at the rim. Just an unbelievable player. And I feel like this TCU team is they're deep too. They're a deep team as long as they can stay healthy, which has been an issue for them this year because Miles was hurt for a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a team that could surprise a lot of people. And for that case, I'm going to take TCU.
I'm going to go TCU as well. I really like Mike Miles' game. He's one of the best guards in the country, averaging 17 points. But yeah, once he went down, that's when the team started to struggle.
They're getting him back at a great time.
Yeah, so I feel like if you look through the first half of the season, they were a top. They were
a top 10 team.
They were competing for the number 1 spot at some point.
They only had one loss, probably about halfway through the season, and then Miles went down, and they struggled mightily.
It shows how much he means to this team.
Yeah, so because of that, I'm going to go TCU. And also, Arizona State and Nevada, the only reason they're even in the tournament.
Nevada shouldn't even be in the tournament at all.
Yeah,
if we're being honest with ourselves.
Because they
Rutgers
made
got
buzzer
snubbed.
beaters.
Yeah. And the only reason Arizona State's here is because of a half-court heave on the road
Against
against Arizona. Yeah.
So I got TCU win this one
Those
fairly easily.
quad 1 wins.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. I've got TCU as well. I mean, Mike Miles coming back is huge for them. And yeah, they've played in the Big 12. They're battle tested, and then I don't think Arizona State or Nevada are particularly good. So I'll roll with TCU in this game as well.
Good stuff. Across the board, we like that. Next one is Gonzaga, right?
Yeah, Gonzaga, Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Sorry, Johnny. Gonzaga.
Sorry, John. Gonzaga.
This isn't anything crazy here. got Drew Timme. You got a great team. I just don't think really that Grand Canyon stands a whole lot of a chance here. Gonzaga.
Happy Grand Canyon got in. But,
Yes, congratulations.
But they're going to get destroyed.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I mean, Drew Timme has been one of the best players in college basketball for the last 3 years, averaging 21 and 7, and nobody is really talking about him. Julian Strother is also an absolute stud, shooting 42% from 3.
That's
averaging 15 points. He's a difference maker. Anton Watson can guard. Malachi Smith is a good player. Nolan Hickman.
Malachi Smith.
They just got players all over the board, and I think Grand Canyon's outmatched. So I'm going to go with GCU. But yeah, we love you, Johnny.
Yeah, no hard feelings, John. But Gonzaga by 40. They're trending in the right direction at the right time.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that Gonzaga, although they play in the West Coast Conference, is not a team to be messed with.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll take Gonzaga in this game pretty comfortably.
Yeah. This reminds me of 2019 when Liberty had their best year ever. First round matchup when it gets Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. Lost by like 30.
Lost by 9. It was like 9. It wasn't like 30.
But they
They
were not
yeah,
going to win that game.
they weren't going to win that game.
You got a 5'9" Darius McGee versus a 6'8" Cade Cunningham, who's the first
Have
overall
fun.
pick. Yeah, it's not happening. That's the vibes I'm getting from this game. Good team.
Good season from Grand Canyon, though.
Yeah, great.
Shout out to
You can't
them.
complain with that.
Northwestern and Boise.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a toss-up. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Boise State.
Yeah.
Northwestern had a great run this year. Denahart, he's pretty darn good for what they have out there. I just feel like Northwestern, they don't travel. This is a team that doesn't travel well at all. It's honestly,
where are they playing at?
they're in the West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to be going far.
They gotta go. They're playing in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
This
have
is
fun.
right up in
Have
Boise
fun.
State's alley. I think it's clear as day. Boise State, I know they've had a couple rough games here lately, but I feel like Boise State takes care of business. Northwestern doesn't play well on the road. Doesn't finish out well on a neutral site either.
I'm going Boise as well, mostly for the fact that that Northwestern has to travel very far, and they're not good on the road. Doesn't bode well for their chances because teams that don't win well on the road typically don't do well in March. So because of that, I'm going to go with Northwestern. But
Yeah.
Boise's like,
This is
I'm so indifferent about this game. Like,
it's not. It doesn't get my hopes up.
it doesn't. Its game doesn't catch my eye. I'm gonna go Boise State as well because you said Northwestern doesn't travel well on the road, and they lost to Penn State in the first round of the. Penn State's good,
Penn
but
State's
like
good. Don't get me wrong.
Northwestern
but
was the better team. They should have won that game, and they didn't. So I'll go with Boise State in this game. Although I think Boise State has a history of not performing in
No,
March
they-
as
yeah.
well.
I managed to do too well.
Yeah,
Neither does Northwestern.
yeah.
Northwestern's
This is their second time they've ever been here. So like,
That's true.
yeah,
true.
They won one.
They beat Vanderbilt a few years ago.
yeah.
But I don't think they're going to beat Boise State.
It's just Boise. I like you said. I'm indifferent about this game. It doesn't excite me like the other 7-10, 8-9 games. But
Watching this game.
huh?
Probably won't be watching this game until.
Unless it comes down to the wire. at the
unless it's a
end.
close game at the end, then I'll flip it on.
Then I'll flip it on. Just be like, just to check out my
See what
bracket.
happens.
But yeah, I don't see Northwestern winning this game.
All right, UCLA, UNC, Asheville.
UCLA, clear as day. UCLA is gonna. They're a dynamic team. Very experienced team too, because a lot of those that year they went to the Final Four. The year
2021, yeah.
21.
Johnny Juzang.
Yes, a lot of those guys are still
Hawkins.
here.
Yeah.
So that experience is what gives me the edge with them. UCLA, even in this 15 seed, you get what I mean.
I'm going UCLA by a pretty big margin, but I do like UNC Asheville. I think they got a good squad, and I think they could be upset people, but they're going up against a juggernaut, man. I mean, UCLA, Hammy Hawk has 17 points. He's been there since that tourney run. Tiger Campbell also been there since that tourney run. Amani Bailey has really been playing well towards the end of the year. Freshman, he was a top number 10 ranked recruit. They did lose Jalen Clark for the season.
Yes,
that really hurts them.
That is a big hurt.
That'll hurt them in the future, but for right now,
In this 15 seed matchup, it doesn't.
I don't think it's going to do much. So yeah,
I don't think it'll really matter for a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have UCLA in this game too. I will say though, if you are looking for again a 14 or lower seed to potentially win a game, I think UNC
right here.
Asheville.
100%.
I think
I can
UNC
see it.
Asheville is one of those teams.
I can see
They
it.
have a stud in Drew Pember. He averages 21-9,
Pember's good.
2.2 assists a game, shoots like 50% from the field, averages 2 blocks a game. Like they have a dynamic duo in Drew Pember and Tajon Jones. And the Jalen Clark injury, again, like you said, he's going to be out for the year. I do have UCLA in this game, but Drew Pember's a guy that could cement himself into March Madness history.
Legendary.
Yeah,
Might be
if
a March
he were to
Madness
somehow...
He's also a treasure from Tennessee.
He is. He's really good. 21, 9, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks per game. Like he's a stud for this UNC Asheville team. But UCLA is just more talented and they're more balanced all the way through.
If they were playing anyone else, they would have probably.
That is a
I
legit.
think they could have done.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a 14 seed or lower to maybe
Like
win
if
a
they
game,
were,
I could look at
14
UNC
in
Asheville.
this
If you're being
bracket,
extra silly, take that.
if
I'd
they
probably
were
go with that
14
one.
in this bracket, I would have them beating like Kansas State,
Yeah, I think if they went up against Kansas
Baylor,
State, yeah.
or maybe even Gonzaga or Xavier, one of those guys.
It's just with those Big 12 teams, like you see them win big games, and the next game they're losing like
Yeah.
insanely bad.
All right.
Kansas, Arkansas across the board.
Kansas, Arkansas, yeah.
I got Kansas. One of the best teams in the country. It's clear as day. Arkansas's got young talent, but I feel like that's not going to be enough to stop Grady Dick and the rest of the Kansas crew. So Kansas.
I'm going Kansas as well. I love Kansas' roster. I mean, they returned a lot of guys from that title team last year. Jalen Wilson has been playing like the player of the year, averaging 20 and 8. Grady Dick has been one of the best freshmen, 6'8" guard, averaging 14 and 5.
Lotto pick.
You got KJ Adams, who's a lot athletic, a lot threat. Kevin McCullough, who did get hurt and didn't play much in the Big 12 tournament, but I just looked up. He is on the trajectory to play first round, which is good. You got DeJuan Harris, who's a good senior guard. Yesufu, who's had his moments in the tournament. I think they're just a overall great team.
Yeah.
And they have more experience, better coach, all that stuff. So I think they're going to beat Arkansas.
Yeah. I've got Kansas in this game as well. I think this could be a closer game than experts initially think, because I do think Arkansas has the talent to match up with Kansas in terms of at least their starting lineup. But Kansas is just way more deep of a team. Like you said, better head coach. They're returning a few of the guys that were on that title team last year. It would not shock me if Arkansas were to pull this upset off, because I do think the 1 seeds this year are especially vulnerable, including Kansas. But I'm going to take Kansas in this game. I don't have a reason to trust Arkansas this season. They haven't shown me that, so
Nice.
I'll go with Kansas.
Okay, so I have UConn VCU. I'm going UConn. Like I said, I love this UConn team. Don't get me wrong. Like we said, this VCU team is scrappy, but I don't think it's enough to take care of to beat this UConn team. So UConn.
I got UConn St. Mary's. I'm going to go UConn by a pretty good amount. They're just an overall better team. Played a lot better competition.
Yep.
And they got what it takes to really go far in this tournament.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah, I've got UConn VCU again. I'm also going to go UConn. Just an overall better team, and VCU. Heart can only go so far in March Madness and in tournaments like this. At some point, talent will win out, and UConn is just the way more superior, talented team. They are more battle tested. So, like you said, you love this UConn team. So I'm going to go with UConn in this game.
I feel like this next one could be where we all.
What, Gonzaga, TCU?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe.
I got TCU. I'm taking TCU. Don't get me wrong, this Gonzaga team is good. But with Mike Miles returning to TCU, I feel like this is where we could see that TCU team really excel. This team is unreal. Like they can handle this Gonzaga team, I feel. I'm going to go TCU.
I got Gonzaga. I think it's going to be a good game, but Gonzaga's got that turning experience. They got a lot of good players. They got a great coach, and I think, yes, this Gonzaga team did underperform, but at its core, it's still a very good team and a team that could still make a good run if they get hot. So because of that, and because of TCU's inconsistencies, I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I've got Gonzaga as well. It's kind of crazy that we're saying that they underperformed after they went 28-5 and won the West Coast Conference.
Pretty handily.
Yeah, pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
They've won 22 of their last 25 games,
25.
and they still have Drew Timme. So I'm going to roll with Gonzaga in this game. I think TCU. I know Mike Miles is back, and I think it will be a very, very, very good game. But I trust Gonzaga more. I trust the experience that they have on that team.
Nice. Okay, so what's the next one? I got UCLA, Boise State. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on this one. I don't think Boise State even competes with UCLA. UCLA.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I actually think UNC Asheville has a better chance of beating UCLA than Boise State does.
I agree.
So,
I actually agree with that.
I will take UCLA in this game as well, pretty comfortably.
It's
Sweet 16. UConn, Kansas.
UConn. I think we all have Kansas, UConn.
Yep. UConn. I'm going UConn. I love both teams in this one. I understand Kansas has the experience, but I just think this UConn team is different. I feel like they are capable of making this run and just I think, like you said, these 1 seeds are susceptible to a loss. I think it happens here. I'm going UConn.
I'm going to go Kansas. I love this Kansas team. I think Jalen Wilson is one of the top 3 best players in college basketball this year, and I think that's going to be a main reason why they go as far as they do. And I really also like Grady Dick. I mean, 6'8" guard who can play, make, and shoot is really a problem. And I feel like out of most of the freshmen, I think he's going to have a big impact in this tourney. I think this is going to be one of the best games in the tournament.
I
For sure.
agree.
UConn is a heck of a team. They have everything that it takes to make it to a Final Four, but they're going up against a really experienced Kansas team that has the experience of winning. They know what it takes, and I think it's going to be like a 2 to 6 point game.
I could even see a game winner.
Could go off a game winner or buzzer beater, but I'm going to lean Kansas on this one.
This is such a hard game to call.
This
is such a hard game to call, Kansas UConn, because I love both teams.
I feel like
love
all
both
these
the
games.
rosters.
I
that
feel
are
like a lot of
constructed.
these games are like that.
Yeah. But at some point in this tournament, you can't always go chalk. So, and again, 1 seeds are susceptible. So I'm also going to take UConn in this game.
Good stuff. I got TCU versus UCLA. I think in this one, I got TCU. With the Clark injury, really leaves that team, gives me some worries with that UCLA team. And like I said, I just love this TCU team. I feel like they can make a run, and I just feel like they can take care of this UCLA team, even with UCLA's experience and everything like that. So I'm going to go TCU.
I'm going to go UCLA. I think Amari Bailey is going to have a phenomenal tournament. I think he's going to kind of break out and play his best basketball towards the end because he has been playing his best basketball here in the last couple of games. I think he's going to really raise his draft stock. I think because of that, I think he's gonna really be one of the main reasons why they do beat Gonzaga. But there always is one freshman who really raises his stock in the tournament, and I think it's going to be Amar Bailey.
I like that.
Yeah. These two teams have some history.
They do.
It seems like every 4 or 5 years, these two teams are right at each other.
They're meeting each other.
They play in
some
an
point.
instant classic.
Yes.
But because of that Jalen Clark injury, I will be going Gonzaga in this game. They're very hot. I know they play in a weaker conference, but that doesn't really matter. They went to the national title game, and they've been to a couple Final Fours, countless Elite Eights. Like this, they're well and truly they're becoming a blue blood program in this. They're becoming right on there with like the UCLA's, the Duke, North Carolina's, Kentucky's. They're right up there with them. And I just, if Jalen Clark didn't get injured, I was talking about this earlier, I probably would have picked UCLA to win the national title.
I could see.
But that injury is massive.
It's really big.
It's
really
it changes
big.
a lot of things.
It does. And I think it's going to bite them in the Sweet 16. So I'll take Gonzaga in this one.
Nice. So that leaves me with UConn TCU. This is where the TCU train finishes. I got UConn winning this one. I don't know. I've said it enough. This UConn team's special. I just think they got the best. This part of the bracket is, you could see anybody out of this
for
part.
sure.
This part is unreal. How
Balanced it
balanced
is.
it
Top
is.
to bottom.
It is. Like, we have a 15 seed. We have more confidence in than a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah, I'm gonna go UConn here.
I got Kansas and UCLA. I'm going to go Kansas because of the Jalen Clark injury. I think they're not going to have.
Finally catches up.
Yeah, I think it's going to catch up with them this game. I think they're going to barely edge out Gonzaga, and I think it's going to catch up with them. I don't think they have anybody really to guard Jalen Wilson, and if they do, Jalen Clark will probably be on Grady Dick, and I think Grady Dick will do just enough to push him over the edge. Plus, Bill Self.
Hopefully, is back by then for them.
Yeah,
I think he was discharged from hospital.
He was.
He should be back. I just have a lot more faith in him as a coach than I do in any of these other guys.
Yeah, I have UConn and Gonzaga. I think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to change it to Gonzaga. Only because we would have 3 of the same Final Four teams if I went with UConn. And, I love this UConn team. I think UConn can very easily make the Final Four. They are loaded top to bottom. And like you said, Big East in general.
This is a year where the Big East could just
dominate. Yeah. Like, in general,
Which
the Big East.
since like the 90s.
Yeah.
It was like the 80s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Since Georgetown was a powerhouse.
Yes.
And like you said, the Big East is, in general, a really good conference. Like, they're Power 6 for a reason. Villanova's won 3 national titles in the past decade. They're out of the Big East. But I'm going to roll with Gonzaga. I think everyone's kind of sleeping on them because of how they started the year.
I agree.
Yep.
And now UConn is also trending in the right direction, but Gonzaga's won 22 of the last 25 games.
You had a lot of moving parts with that team.
Yeah, for sure. So I had UConn. I will change it to Gonzaga, only because I don't want to have 3 of the same Final Four teams as you. So yeah, I'll go with Gonzaga in that game.
Okay, so
All right, Final Four time.
I got Alabama, Marquette, Texas, UConn.
Hold on, let me change it real
All
fast.
right, who do you have winning the Alabama Marquette?
I love this Marquette team, but I can't bet against Brandon Miller in Alabama. I think that they're too deep of a team. They're too athletic of a team and just the best team in college basketball. So I'm going with Alabama.
What about for Texas?
And Texas, UConn. I have battled with this one a lot, but I'm going to go Texas. I think Texas is. I just think Texas is a better team. I think they're both amazing teams. If this Final Four happens, you're getting 2 potential games in the Final Four that are up there at the top. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I am gonna lean. I'm gonna lean Bama versus Texas, with both games being very close.
I got Alabama Marquette in my Final Four, and I'm going to have Alabama winning that in a close one. They got Brandon Miller, best player in college basketball. That's a freshman, in my opinion. And they're just an overall better team. Marquette's a heck of a team, but Alabama just has more star power. So I'm going to go Bama. They're going to be in my national championship. They're going to meet. I don't know. I'm going to go Texas. I think it's going to be a great game, but it's going to be a home game for Texas. And I think that's going to really boost them. I think it's going to be a good story because they went from, obviously, Chris Beard, the whole situation that happened with him, to having an interim coach who's basically really rallied this team and got them to their highest of potential. He's really tapped into that. And I think it's going to be a good story. And I think they're going to edge out Kansas in a thriller. So yeah, I'm going to have Alabama and Texas in the national championship.
Yeah, I've got Arizona, Marquette, and then Texas, Gonzaga as my Final Four. Arizona, Marquette. I'm going to take
Do you
Arizona.
have a 1 seed in your Final Four?
No 1 seed. Not a single 1 seed.
Nice.
I think the 1 seeds are especially vulnerable this year. Yeah. I'm not really super.
I agree.
If Marcus Sasser didn't get hurt, Houston would be in there. But I don't know how.
Such a big concern. For
it's
them.
It's too much of a concern for me to trust them. But yeah, Arizona, Marquette. I'm going to go with Arizona in this game. I think this is where Marquette's kind of lack of offensive firepower at times catches up to them. And Shaka Smart, it's a great run for them. It's a great run for Marquette because no one expected them to even be near this point.
Exactly.
But Arizona's got more talent top to bottom. They're just they've got better length, better spacing, better size, and their offense is a dynamo. So for those reasons, I will take Arizona. And I got Texas Gonzaga in my other semifinal, and I can't pick against Texas. I can't pick against Texas. They are so good. They are flying on all cylinders right now. And with the Final Four being in Houston, like you said, it's going to be a home game for them. And I think this is when Gonzaga's lack of playing in a real powerhouse conference catches up to them once again. So I've got Arizona, Texas in my national championship.
So should we go first or let him go first? Because we got the same one.
I can go first. All right, Arizona, Texas national title game, and I've got Texas winning it. I've got Texas as the national title game. I think they're too balanced. I think they really impressed me in the Big 12 title game against Kansas. That game wasn't even close. I thought they
beat
won
them by 20.
Yeah, I thought it would be close just because it's on a neutral site. They beat them by more than they beat them when they played in Texas. And I think, but here's the thing: like this is the most wide open this tournament has been, and I can't remember how long.
There's no clear-cut team that is like you have this strong feeling.
I'm not confident in like teams that'll make the Sweet 16, let alone the Final Four.
I agree.
But I think Texas is on another level in terms of consistency, and like you said, the Chris Beard thing, like they fought through adversity, and that's what you need to have in your team's DNA when it comes to a tournament like this, when you need to win 6 games to be crowned national title or national champion. And I think this is where Arizona's kind of lack of defense. Not lack of defense. Their defense is all right, but it's not elite. And at this point in the tournament, you need to have an elite defense in order to go all the way. And for that reason, I will be rocking with Texas in this game.
I like that pick. Yeah. I do like that pick.
Joel, ours sounds like a college football national championship.
Yeah, Alabama, Texas, and basketball.
You
never see that.
Sounds like a early 2010s national championship game.
For football. You want to go first for me?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, Alabama, Texas. It's going to be one for the ages. But I'm going to go Texas. Home game, once again. Pretty much everything Nick said. They're one of the most balanced teams. They're very hot. And I can't root for Alabama. I'm sorry. They got Brandon Miller, great player. It's going to be a top 3 pick, without a doubt. Best freshman.
Lack of experience for Bama might
that's going to hurt them.
Catch up with them here.
Yeah, that's going to.
It's going to catch up with them at some point. I just have it a little earlier than you guys.
And this is going to be the battle of allegations, really.
I was about ready to say.
I mean, you
was about
got
to say.
Brandon Miller and all his stuff. You got Chris Beard and all his stuff. And one of them's going to prevail victorious, and that's going to be Texas.
You might. I'm going different. I'm going Alabama. I know there's that lack of experience, but I feel like this Alabama team is just legit. They are. I feel like I've said it so much. They're just so. They're a dynamic
complete team, yeah.
They're a complete dynamic team.
Both Alabama and Texas are like top 10 in both offense and defense.
Yes.
So like
that's like the thing. I don't know what has happened with this Bama team because they came out of nowhere. It started with Sexton,
yeah.
but this
I knew once they had a really good recruiting
Yeah, they
process,
did.
so I knew that was going to
I knew it was going to come eventually.
I didn't think they were going to be
You knew it was going to help, but not this soon.
much.
I didn't
Yeah.
think they were going to be this good.
But yeah, I'm going with Alabama winning it all. I just think Brandon Miller is going to have an unreal game, and it's going to be enough to overcome Texas.
So we got Bama, Texas.
I like it, boys.